Good morning. Today we will like to discuss about the quasi-experimental study. My name is Dr. Pinson and I'm from the Clinical Epidemiology and Biostatistic Unit. So this is the type of the study. We have primary research and we do have secondary research. In most cases, most of you will perform the primary research. The primary research can be divided into basic research, clinical research, and community research. Today we will discuss about the one part of the experimental study, and we call it a quasi-experimental study. And there are two types of research. One is descriptive studies, and the other is analytic studies. If if the researcher perform or make some intervention, we call it experimental studies. But if the researcher only observe of the phenomenon, we call it the observational studies. There are three types of observational studies: the cohort study, the case control study, and the cross-sectional study. And if we perform the experimental study, there are two types. Uncontrolled trial, it means that there are no control groups, and the control trial. There are control group. And also, if we perform the control trial, there will be non-randomized study. It means there are no randomization, and there is a randomized control trial. It means that the allocations of the study subject is randomized, and there is one or more control group. So, in the experimental research design, we call it in the pra-experimental. There are one shot case study, one group pre-test and post-test study, and there are static group. There are true experiment like a pre-test and post-test with control group, or post-test only with control group, and Solomon 4 group. And there are also the quasi-experimental. This is one that we would like to discuss more, the quasi-experimental. There are time series and multiple time series. And also there are statistical experimental research design, the randomized control trial, the Latin square, and the factorial design. We will not too many detail in this part. So, if we would like to perform a study or we would like to read a study, we have to decide what kind of study. If it is about the primary study, the best primary study to answer our clinical question or to answer our research question is we perform RCT, or we can also perform prospective cohort. But RCT is more valid than prospective cohort. And this is diagnosis, etiology, prognosis, prevention, and clinical examination. So different type of study will need different research design. So I think the best primary study is randomized control trial. It is randomized. The control selection criteria is very clear. There are study specific intervention, and it is based on the hypothesis driven. So, but the limitation of RCT is, in most common, the RCT is only involve small populations, and the very clear and very fixed time frames. But the power is very powerful. But we cannot always perform the RCT in the real world situations. In most cases, the real world situation, the real world studies is observational. For example, if you want to observe the blood pressure lowering effect of some certain antihypertensive therapy, if you perform the RCT, maybe in most cases the trial will last about 12 months or more. In my opinion, one of the RCT, one of the good RCT, observe until 60 months or 5 years. But in the real world situations, the patients the patient will take the antihypertensive therapy more than 5 years. Yeah. In the RCT, the selection criteria of the study subject is very, very clear. But in the real world situations, the medication can be obtained from the non-broad selection criteria. And no study-specific intervention. It will involve large population and long time frame and also flexible. So this is the benefit of the RCT. Ability to evaluate small but clinically important treatment effect. Also ability to establish effective, widely practical therapy for common disease. Better estimation of the treatment effect. The result is firm, so less fragile, and also highest level of evidence. But there are also the limitations. Because in the real world situation, we deal with very heterogeneous patients. So maybe we cannot only based on the RCT that evaluates small study subject, homogeneous study subject, but if we come to the real world situations, maybe we cannot only base on one RCT, because the limitation is in the real world situation the patient can be heterogeneous, and also RCT will take a more cost, and also because in many cases the diagnosis is not very common, so maybe we would like to involve a multi-center. And also it is impossible for rare disease and rare outcomes. So now we would like to discuss more about the quasi-experimental study. Quasi-experimental study is different with the randomized control trial. The main difference between the quasi-experimental study and the randomized control trial is the randomization. In the quasi-experimental study, there are no randomization. So the allocation of the treatment is not randomized. It is the most important difference point between the RCT and the quasi-experimental. But the benefit of the quasi-experimental is can be used in the real situation or when we cannot perform randomization. For example, if you work in the public or private hospital and in the clinical setting, it is unlikely to perform a randomization in the term of our clinical services. So there are intervention. We perform the experimental study. So we perform the intervention of the independent variable, and also to see what is the impact of our dependent variable. It could be one or more control group, or also it could be without a control group. And it is quite similar with the RCT, so we have to measure the impact of our intervention. So in some quasi-experimental, there are difference with the RCT, and the main difference is randomization. In the quasi-experimental, there are no randomization. And in some type of quasi-experimental, there are no control group. We would like to go detail after this slide. So this is the type of quasi-experimental. We do have non-randomized with control group, and also we do have time series. This is the symbol. So this is the international recognized symbol. O mean observation. X mean the exposure to the experimental treatment. AG means experimental group, the test unit exposed to the treatment. The CG means the control group, the test unit not exposed to the treatment. R means randomization, but in this case we do not perform any randomization. And M means the balance to assure that EG and CG are roughly equal. So in most cases the M means 1. It means that the number number of the EG and the CG is similar. So for example, this is the pre-test, post-test, non-equivalent group design. In this case, there are two groups because there are no randomization. So these two groups is non-equivalent group. We observe in the beginning before we perform any interventions, which means the observation number 1. This is also observation number 1. And then there are intervention, different intervention between these two groups, the experimental one and the control one. And then we perform observation 2 to see the impact of our intervention. There are another design, the time series design. In the time series design, there are no control group. So it's only one group. The specific of the time series design is we perform multiple measurement. So we do have the observation number 1, and then perform the intervention, and then we make another observation. If you want to see the long-term impact of your intervention, the time series design is one of the good choice if you would like to see the long-term impact of our interventions. And then we do have also non-equivalent before and after design. It is similar with the time series but with the control group. So we do have one group, pre-test and post-test. This is a very famous design. The other name of this design is after and before study. For example, if I go to this class, I make a pre-test. I give you some questions, and then I make interventions. I give you some lecture, and then I give you the post-test with the same question. And then we would like to see the difference between your post-test score and the pre-test score. If your post-test score is higher than your pre-test score, it means that my intervention by the lecture is a success. Yeah. But in some cases, you only have you do not have any data of your pre-test. So we call it a post-test only with control group design. Another, you do not have any data about the pre-test, but you give the intervention and then you observe. We call it one-shot case study. Yeah. If the group is static, it means that there are no overlap between the experimental group and the control group. We call it a static group design. So the time series, we use the time series design when the researcher would like to measure the long-term impact of our intervention. Or the researcher give multiple intervention and then make sure and also observe more about the impact of the interventions. And it is only in one group, so there are no control group in the time series design. No randomization, and also we make multiple measurement to show the trend. What is the weakness? The weakness of this study is the researcher cannot control the natural trend. And also, if we make a multiple measurement, it will also affect the study subject. Yeah, so this is the time series design, and this is so we call it multiple time series design when we perform with a control group. So we make a multiple measurement. For example, if you give the intervention here, in the observation after your intervention, I think the score or the attitude or anything will be better compared with before the intervention. But in the time series design, we would like to measure the long-term impact. For example, if I make a training about hand washing, I measure before my training of hand washing, a good hand washing in the nurse. And then I give intervention here. I give them the lecture, I show them how to uh, perform a good hand washing. And then if I measure here, I believe that we will see the impact. Yeah. It will increase their knowledge and also their behavior on good hand washing. But the problem, will it sustain or no? So in the time series design, we make it a multiple measurement to make sure that the effect of our intervention is sustained or no. This is the example. There's a very good study, the impact of hospital accreditations on the quality measures, an interrupted time series analysis. So we measure before the accreditations when the hospital accredited, the hospital will prepare many things, and we will see that the indicator will be a good. But the problem, if we would like to measure this intervention, the accreditation is the intervention is sustained or no, then we will perform the time series analysis. In this example, we see that the time series measurement show that the standard is sustained. So it is a good study. So this is another example about the improved hand hygiene technique and compliance in healthcare worker using gaming technology. We also see that in multiple measurement, the compliance is sustained. So this is an example of how the intervention will increase the outcome and make it sustain. In some cases, it will back to the before intervention. In some cases, we will not see any huge impact in the beginning, but then after multiple measurement, then the impact is more clear and clear. So this is my conclusions. When we call it the quasi-experimental, it means that you give the intervention. So it is a part of experimental study. The difference between the quasi-experimental and the RCT is in the quasi-experimental, you do not make any randomization. One type of the very famous, the pre-experimental study is after and before study or pre-test and post-test study. It means that it's only one group, you give the intervention, you measure before your intervention, it means that the pre-test, and then you give intervention, and then you measure again after you give the intervention, the post-test. Another type is the time series. We use the time series design is only one group without control and also to make the trend. So if your study would like to measure the long-term impact on the sustainability of the outcome after your intervention, the time series design will be the suitable design for your study. Thank you very much for your kind attention. If you have any questions, you can email me. Please, the class coordinator will please coordinate your question, and then you can email me any time. Thank you very much for your very kind attention. Good day.